they do happen to break it, it is a 10-second penalty for not giving that proper head start. And to give you reference to that, our lead time coming into our performance is a 3-6 that is put together by Peyton Scoville. With a 10-second penalty will pull you out of the money, as that could become a 13-6. And now tonight, as we get started, we take a look at how things have been shaping up on the year. It is the number 2 cowgirl in the nation, only separated by 20 points. This is Riley Bondaroff, who represents her varsity team of the Northern Lights College out of Dawson Creek. Now last year, a champion as well as a season leader and a contender year after year. Well, we're going to start huge. Barriers good. How about 3 seconds flat? New lead time. That'll set up a multi-event competitor from right here in Rustler Nation. It is to Lily Wilson we move to. Now, her horse, Bo, would have a touch bit of tough luck last weekend, but coming into it this weekend, well, she sits again in contention as she is the number 8 cowgirl so far on the year. Looking to qualify in all the events she competes in. It starts with runs like this. Yep. So we back it up. The barrier's good. How about 3.2? That'll set her down in the number 2 spot so far, 3-2. Let's see if we can keep momentum. Let's see if we can keep momentum. Now there's a top 12 that'll qualify in to our Canadian College Finals Rodeo going down the first weekend of May out in Rimby. If you want to grab hold of some tickets, they did release the posters just this week. Make sure you get yourself there. We want to make it one heck of a good time. But the more people we get, the better it's going to be, of course. As this cowgirl coming to us, it's number 10 so far. Another Northern Lights proud cowgirl as Jordan Farmer of Quesnel, BC comes to us. You know. Not going to work. As she releases the line, yeah, that's okay. You can give her a hand for the effort. A little consolation can go out to her. It's a long way back to Dawson Creek. I promise you that. But in no time she found, and something else we should talk about in the rope inside for the breakaway. Now you're going to see something different here. We need what is called a bell collar catch. That means secured over the head and the neck only. That is it. If it's any other moving parts in it, or maybe only catch a nose or maybe half a head, or twisted over the ears, that is going to represent a no time. So it is important that they rope sharp and get that rope in the perfect place about every time. As the cowgirl rolls in on her horse Watson, as they're going in the hunt for their fast time of the week, as Brooklyn Himonick backs on in. Through the semi-pro season, grabbed a handful of checks at the top. Tonight, it is no time for Brooklyn, representing that Central Alberta team. A makeup of schools that spread across the Edmonton area along through Central Alberta. Another veteran. It is Avery Sardoff. Where's that Rustler pride? Now you watch her turn this gray around. I'm going to point it out. Might be tough to see, but you watch how they set them in the corner. They can shave off time based on how they start. So you watch. She knew what she wanted. Oh. As fast as she was moving forward, the rope would not catch up to the pace. And no time for Avery Sardoff as the train has come a touch off the tracks. Setting herself on in, it is Wasey Nickel, Olds College Bronco. And in 2024, they would crown her the Lakeland Rodeo Association Finals Breakaway champion. Through her collegiate career, she's also battling to the top side for that Cowgirl of the Year title, which is the all-around champ for all the points that can come together as another multi-event specialist. Yep. Rope sharp. Barrier, we're good. Well, if you can't beat them, you join them. How about 3 seconds flat? We're all tied up. That'll move us over to Mooseman, Saskatchewan. Sadie Hollingshead. Sophomore season. Was an all-around champion 3 times in the Manitoba High School Rodeo Association. 2020, 2023, and 2024, her final year. And in her second year of college rodeo, she sits number 6 so far on the year. Yep. Now she put a lot of pressure on that barrier line, so we're going to see if it stays. We got a thumbs up, and it is a 4-second flat run for Sadie Hollingshead. 4 seconds flat. Going to put her to the bottom side of our top 10 so far. But this gives me a great opportunity to talk about the draw. That's right. Each one of these competitors are going to be drawn into the order they're going to go. But alongside that, it is the livestock they'll compete with. There is a list of livestock that get drawn up an hour before the performance that is going to come next to their name. Now, not every calf is going to run the exact same way. So you got to strategize with what you got. And you think about it, in 4 seconds, you're not even tying one shoe. For most people, maybe. I got, slip-ons for good reason. But the idea is they've got to make sure they take care of it in quick order. But sometimes the calf might not run at the same pace. So you got to work with what you got. But it looks like we got a little bit of a change-up that might be coming as we're going to go to Daly Storley, and we're going to come back to that cowgirl that just backed in. And don't worry, we're going to meet her in a minute. So it is back to Alma, Saskatchewan. Second time we meet Daly Storley tonight. Rustler Pride. Now, at the Canadian High School Finals in 2023, she'd be crowned the champion. And Daly Storley last year would come out swinging and show us why she was a contender each and every weekend. Solid look. Yep. Oh, we are log jammed, but how about another 3-second run with Storley? All righty, number 1 girl in the nation. Woo, I can work with that. This is Daly. Oh, that was Daly. This is Taylor. Well, as I take a look at how things have been going, we got to remember that Riley Bondaroff started the performance at a 3-second run, the one that is trailing the number 1 cowgirl by only 20 points. Well, the cowgirl she's chasing, hot on her heels, is this cowgirl right here. Broncos Nation has brought us Taylor Fitchett. Originally from Quesnel, BC, now the pride of Ponoka. Has set her sights. Oh, no. Would you please do me a favor, though, and get that love out the right way on a Saturday night? That is a number 1 cowgirl coming into the weekend. Taylor Fitchett has pretty well punched her ticket to qualify, but is going to look to chase the hardware that represents season leader. That is the champion at the end of the regular season to be on top. But tonight it is a no time, which opens the door for more of our competitors. Currently holding on to the 12th position. We talk about resilience. Rihanna Fletcher fires. Yeah. Great recovery after a tough go in the polls tonight to put together a nice run as she strings up a 3-5 tonight. 3-5. And that is going to put her, based on the look here, well, right around that number 4 spot with a 3-5. So unofficially, it is 3 seconds flat that goes out to 3 of them. We've got 3 champions. It is the Northern Lights College and Riley Bondaroff, Wacy Nickel, the Olds College, and yep, Rustler Pride with the Lakelands, Daly Storley. All righty, now tonight we're going to do singing a couple times, but we just want to do a little warm-up, nothing crazy. We just want to see where you're at, okay? So we're going to try singing just a little bit earlier on, and Lane's going to dial up some tunes for you, okay? Come on, let's sing it. All right, let's go living on a prayer. They're almost set anyway. Well, as we move to the goat tying, one of my favorites in all of college rodeo, it is fast, electric, and a whole lot can happen in a hurry. As we've got a goat tied to the end of the rope, and Cowgirl's going to run in at full speed, and they are going to race their way down to be the fastest to tie that goat with 3 legs. Any of 3 that they choose, and the fastest to do it goes away a champion. And right now, it is an 8-3 on top with Riley Bondaroff as the Northern Lights has put together a big start in those varsity points. But tonight, starting us, is going to be the Lakeland College Pride and the Goats. It is Avery Sardoff. Now she chases another season leader title, but unfortunately tonight it is no time for Avery. Oh, that can suck the wind out of the sails, but let's build it back up, okay? Next cowgirl comes to us as number 4 in the nation. It is to Caitlin Appel of Dundurn, Saskatchewan. Steps towards, staying technically sound. Scoop, wrap, tie. Tonight on the time, going to be a 10-5. Going to throw her in the mix of our top 8 times so far today, as we are going to move to the Red Deer Polytechnic Kings and Queens. Unity, Saskatchewan is where she hails from. Been rodeoing since age 5. Following in the footsteps of her parents, she's been a CCA finalist, junior NFR finalist, and has a bit of a run to get to her goat. Why don't we help her some? Come on. Now that may hold, but it doesn't look like it will. Package says return to sender, no time. Now something interesting that's developed over the last, give or take, 8 years has been the team system. And this is a cowgirl who started off her career with the Olds College, but now rides for the pride of the Peace Country in the Northern Lights College with Shelby Core. Another next-generation talent. Yep. With quick hands. Going to be a touch longer than the usual. Has 11-0. Going to get put together tonight by Shelby Core. 11 seconds flat. 15 points is all that separates this next cowgirl from the Olds College and the number one in Avery Sardoff. And with a no time tonight with Avery Sardoff, we could see a leaderboard change happen right here. It is going to be a knife fight to the bitter end in this regular season for the go tying as Alyssa Maffenbeier, the second of the Maffenbeiers to join us in Canadian College Rodeo in the last handful of years, Hoosier, Saskatchewan. Now the horse she's been utilizing for the goats, same one she'll use in the breakaway, old Muskrat.
Maybe not tonight, maybe, yes.
She's moving. A solid run. But is the goats going to test it? We got a thumbs up. It lasted.
9-5.
It'll be a 9-5 tonight for 9-5.
8-3.
We got 4 to go. We're going to see if we can change it at all. This is to Brooke Jeffries. Little turn back, lift. I love the coaching from the grandstand. The engagement, yeah, you can rattle that chain a little bit. Looking at a 12-1 tonight, 12-1 for Brooke. And we are going to move over to Reese Dragon as we got 3 to run. Hails from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And the horse she runs the go tying, it is Ryan. Very simple, Ryan. Taking the business management course. Well, it's all business. Train's a little off the tracks. Restabilize, wrap and tie. Yeah.
14-8. We need the Olstad girls to come back and throw down some sixes.
Mr. Hollywood, thank you. That would be a no time as the goat does not stay tied for the required time frame needed. It is 6 full seconds. It is 6 full seconds that we needed, and for Reese Dragon, it is no time. But as we go to the lone Southern Alberta Intercollegiate Rodeo team member in our performance tonight, they represent one of the smaller teams, but I'll tell you what, they got big hearts and a ton of talent as Charlie Broderson comes to us. Yep, go on. That is a tough draw on that white goat. Or a little frustration there. And the frustration going to continue as a no time. You know the deal. Put the right and the left hand together and give Charlie Broderson a little bit of your love. Ten points on the outside of that number 12 position is where this cowgirl sits, and tonight she can make a move. The door is open for Jordan Farmer. And she's got to rally past it. Goat can be tough. Works through it. Extra security. Tonight it is going to be 11-1, so not enough to move the chains, as all these times unofficial, of course, till they go upstairs. But unofficially, our champ is going to come out of the slack performance as Riley Bondaroff with an 8-3, going to be your champion on day one of our Little Royal Rodeo, all brought to you by Lloydminster Toyota. So we're going to be loading up the calves as the tie-down roping comes to us. We got 8 left to go from what started this morning, as we're looking at a 9-7 Nate Siemens run that is sitting in the number 1 spot. But tonight it is Dane Ross who's going to get his chance to start first. He is our gunner. But the cool part about coming out of the slack into the performance is these calf ropers have seen what the livestock has done already. Now, if you joined us this morning, it's a bit of a mixed bag on what we're going to get. You got to have a little bit more of a controlled start. So I'm going to give you the 101 as quickly and as efficiently as possible, as it's no different than the breakaway. The only difference is that rope is attached to the saddle horn. And once the cowboy catches up with that calf and happens to throw that loop on, that rope is going to come tight. They're going to step off their horse and work their way down the line. From there, they've got to flank that calf, and no different than you do out on the range to do some doctrine. They got to get all 3 legs tied together, any of which they choose. Now, the difference to the breakaway, it is catch is as catch can, which means any part of the livestock can be caught up, and even if the rope comes off, that's okay too. If you catch them, you catch them. Now, the fastest time, of course, is going to win, but there's insurances like the goat tying. We got to make sure that tie is good. So once the cowboy has done the run, his hands will go up, flag will come down. He'll remount his horse and put a little slack in the line, at which that time our field official will start a stopwatch. And once 6 seconds have passed, it is okay, and we can put that time up on the board. Now, considering that 100 points goes out to the number 1 position in any one of our Canadian College events, 200 points is not a large margin, considering there is 400 left until the end of the regular season next Sunday night. Dane Ross sits middle of the pack in number 6, and as he reaches out, he's got a little work ahead of him. Not going to work with Dane Ross. Well, as he remounts, he is one of our rookies in the 2025-2026 campaign, so a little consolation his way, if you would. Little chin up off the chest for Mr. Dane Ross. It's not going to be his day. That'll move us to Cohen Kaufman. Ceylon, Saskatchewan. Now, as he'd leave the high school ranks, he would qualify to the National High School Finals, the Canadian High School Finals, and represent our nation. And you watch the technical prowess. He knows he's got to utilize the leverage over the size. Now, as he gets to the arena floor, he is in a battle to get things tied up, as his mount not going to give him a whole lot of aid. And I'm going to gather when you're on the range of Ceylon, Saskatchewan, and you got to do any doctoring, you want to make sure you catch him because the ground is flat and you can see him run forever. Now, no different than the breakaway, that barrier comes back into play, so 10 seconds going to be added to the start of the run, and what we know is a 15-4 he's got, moves to 25-4, but Cohen Kaufman's got our first catch of the perf, and things are looking up. So 25-4, Cohen Kaufman, and we set up another rookie in the race to the finals. He needs to make a big move this weekend. This is Caleb Kelly. Lakeland College. Brokenville, Saskatchewan. Now, I want you to understand that you're going to hear the measuring stick of Canadian college finalist or high school finalist or national high school finalist. When we talk about the top 10 or the top 12 or the top 24 in the nation, these are some of the best. And each one of these performances is going to stack up some of the top 20 that we have representing us. And a lot of them have gone through the building blocks of their high school careers. So as a proud Saskatchewanian has represented his province and his nation, it is now the representation of the green on his shoulders with a pile of Rustler pride behind him. All right, Caleb. Yeah. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, there is no shortage of speed. There was no shortage of speed, and as Caleb Kelly gathers up and remounts, why don't you give him a little bit more Rustler pride to him? Needs a shot in the arm.
Oh, Mr. Resch, of course. Yeah, he's taking RV refrigeration technician or something. I don't know. He's taking underwater basket weaving. This is his second go around.
Well, the cowboy that comes to us, we just talked about Canadian high school, Canadian college. Well, this cowboy has not only qualified for those, but he's also qualified to a Canadian Finals Rodeo and Canadian Pro Rodeo. That's right, one of the top 12 in the nation 2 years ago. This is Mr. Cooper Resch. A long line of cowboys out of southern Saskatchewan would move their way out west. And as this kid would be raised in Alberta in one of the toughest districts of high school rodeo, he is starting to find his way as one of the best in Canada. Working through becoming an RV technician. You watch him, the technical prowess on the ground. Oh, yeah. Now this is the test. As he puts a little slack in the line, we wait in high anticipation because I told you when we started it was a 9-7 at the top. And fans, how about a 9.5 to number one? Weston Packett. LaFlèche, Saskatchewan. Lakeland College. Part of our veteran team, was part of our opening ceremonies tonight. Him and his horse Boone have qualified 2 times to the CCA finals, and tonight they want to get themselves a ticket punch back to the Canadian College. All right, Weston, keep rocking and rolling. When his hands go up, make some noise. Well, as Slack goes in the line, he's going to move himself to the number 3 position. 10.9 for Packett. He's on the board in the top 3. You know what? Don't kill the messenger, but a 10-second penalty is going to get attached to it for Packett. That is going to take a 10-9 to a 20-9. A little too fast. Cowboys speeding ticket gets handed out, so 20-9 for Packett. As the night moves, well, going to cost him. Wyatt Bondaroff would actually start his collegiate career as part of a grade 12 credit program. And as he comes back to us to qualify for what could be his 3rd consecutive Canadian College Finals, tonight it is a no time for the Dawson Creek Proud Cowboys. That leaves us 2 in our tie-down roping. Where's those green towels? We got to start getting the juju right. Let's get them up and roll them. This is Derek Ivanix. Now his mailbox may say Medicine Hat, but yes, that's right. He's another Lakeland College rustler. And he is only 30 points behind the number 1 spot in the nation. So tonight, he's got to take care of business. Let's go down. Let's flank. Dot the I's. Cross the T's. Throw them up, baby. Now we are A-OK at the barrier, but not enough to move him into a lead position. But I'll tell you what, he's going to secure at least 30 points tonight, as he's got 11-9 put together, 11-9, and that should move him to what is the number 3 position unofficially, which looks a little more like 80 points collected. So that could be a game changer for him on day 1 of our Little Royal Rodeo, brought to us by Lloydminster Toyota. That'll leave us 1 cowboy to go. Now his main event is team roping, but last year he would work towards an all-around race and had one heck of a Canadian College Finals. Momentum that would build him off of his first qualification to the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals in Pro Rodeo through the PRCA circuit system. This next generation talent is currently sitting 5th overall with room to grow. All right, Brody. Well, there's no shortage of livestock to work with. Oofda. Well, as he makes his way back to his horse, We already got the news that a 10-second penalty will be added as he would break the barrier tonight. As Brody Groves is going to put together a 12-second run in 10, going to be 22 seconds flat. Unofficially, your champion's going to roll out of here. Cooper Resch, 9.5.
We have a T-shirt cannon, I think.
All righty, we're going to move our calves on out of here, but we have reached the halfway point of our rodeo. So we'll get things set up for our barrel racing. So you can go get your 7th inning stretch in. We're going to get the arena groomed up and prepared and readied for the second half, which will be barrel racing next. But I'm going to give you an inside scoop. Go use the washroom. There's plenty. Go register up with the Lloydminster Toyota crew to enter in to win. And before we start the barrel racing, that is when we're going to grab the T-shirt cannon, and you could win one of 5 passes. That is fast passes to the Band in the Sand April 11th, where it is a dirty good time. But you got about, give or take, 10 minutes before we get there. We'll be back in business at 7:25, okay? There's your release to go grab some beverages, a snack, and we'll give you a 2-minute warning to find your seats. Competitors, if you are leading the go-round or happen to win the go-round, Hannah Martz is also in the back, so make sure you go do your interviews where they're going to be interviewing you about your performance and how it went to claim number 1 prize. So that's a reminder to all of our contestants, as well to our contestants this year. One of our team sponsors for the Canadian College Rodeo season, and EXL Milling has graciously donated a bag of Lipigain equine supplement for every competitor this weekend. And now as there's a clipboard that is underneath the stairs, and there's a pallet located just on the north, well, what would be east corner, and there is a pallet of supplement for each of our contestants. It is a take one. Please use the honor system, and that is courtesy of EXL Milling, one of our team members in Canadian College Rodeo for the 2025-2026 season. All righty, kids, we'll have you vacate as we're going to get our arena turned around and ready for the second half of rodeo. So here for you, the fans, we'll give you a 3-minute warning to start working your way back to your seats as we're going to get the arena set up, tractored up, barrels standing, and then, of course, as promised, we're going to be shooting out some T-shirts that are the official Fast Passes. At some point, they're going to be coming. Waiting for the T-shirt gun to get here. Well, I have a minute, though, as a heads up. We're going to be having what is called the Farm 4.0, and that is going to be a event where we bring innovation here to the college. I'm actually proud, as one of the companies I work for, we're going to be there in representation as well. But what they are doing is, over the next week over lunch, they're going to be having raffle tickets that they're selling at $20 a piece. Now, these just aren't ordinary raffle tickets. These are Oilers raffle tickets, and it is for the game on April 13th, 7:30 at Rogers Place in Edmonton. It is $20 per ticket. They do have some here, but they want to let you know that the Ag Mech building through the week, at every day at lunch, they will have tickets available to you for sale. So make sure you buy in, because if you don't, there's no chance to win. That is a $20 raffle ticket towards the Oilers, and it is all in support of the Farm 4.0 program that is happening here in a handful of weeks. So make sure you go and buy those raffle tickets at lunchtime through the week. We're not going to pressure you up here because you got your dollars accounted for the beer gardens. As we're going to get things turned up, looks like our beer pyramid is starting to make some moves. All righty, here's the deal. We've got our T-shirt cannon. You ready, Hunter? Okay, let's lay the ground rules. There is 5 Fast Passes to be given away, but here's the deal. Is once you get a T-shirt, at some point in time, you got to take a picture, and you've got a DM, that's right, direct message for those of you over the age of 25. To the @Band in the Sand on Instagram. So you take a picture, and if they receive it, they will then give them their name, and you get your Fast Pass. There's only 5 to go out. It is the loudest who's going to get them. Oh, Hunter, you're teasing him, Hunter. All right, where's that noise at? Hunter, you might want to move up to the fence, partner. Or amp it up a little bit. I've never seen somebody so bad at a T-shirt cannon. Hunter, 4th time is the charm, buddy. Try it. That T-shirt, you need to take a picture, send your name in to @Band in the Sand, and you are one of 5 that gets a Fast Pass. Right into the pit. All right, Hunter, load it up. Make some noise. Let's go. All righty. Keep going, Hunter. All righty. Only a couple left. Oh, hey, by the way, it is the first 5 that take a picture with that T-shirt and DM the Band in the Sand on Instagram. A big thank you to the Lakeland Rustlers Athletic Department along with KFC for the T-shirt gun, which it looks like you got it dialed up now, Hunter. Remember, you got to take a picture with you in the T-shirt, and you've got to DM the Band in the Sand on Instagram. Oh, that's going to be a war. Hold on. I thought you would have let her have it, man. I thought you would have given it to her. No, high five. Well, that works. All righty. April 11th, it's a dirty good time. The Band in the Sand right here. We thank you for playing along and having fun with us.
Remember when the Band in the Sand used to have their stage right here? Yeah, we're watching High Valley like 6 feet away. What's that?
All right, barrel racing. The Texas Cloverleaf, if you will. Cowgirl can start on the right or left-hand side, and they got to follow that pattern. And right now we're chasing Julia Doble at a 14.700. But Alyssa Maffenbeier of Hoosier, Saskatchewan's going to get the race underway tonight. Here we go on yellow. $14.870. Can we hold them up at the gate? We want to check those eyes one more time. 14.870 is the time that would be recorded. Okay, if you could come through just one time for us, please. If you wouldn't mind stepping on back, that'll work.
It's all good shit. We caught it anyways.
14.870 would be ran, and Kaylee Clark on her horse try. She sits number 12 so far on the year, tied up to 11th. Has got to make a move. Well, I'll tell you what, that'll work. Are you ready? How about a 14.239 new leader?
Holy shit balls.
Let's keep rolling. Meadow Parthenae, number 3 on the program tonight. Proud Manitoban on her horse, Eastwood. How about a 14-7-1-2? Good enough to put you to number 3. Nice running, Cowgirl. Let's go tractoring around as we've got 3 up, 3 down. Ooh, that's a lot. That is a lot to start with. 14-2-3-9. Kaylee Clark now sits on top, and right behind her, the Cowgirl coming in from our slack in Julia Doble. 14-7-0-0. And then that 14-7-1-2 Middle Parthenon now going to sit number 3 as Haley Ost is going to move to number 4 in just 3 runs. An outstanding start to our performance, and it is all thanks to you guys, the power of the people. Everything you give, I told you, you're going to get it right back. Like to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Lloydminster Toyota. Whether you're looking for something to get you down the highway, do a little tough pulling in the mud, they've got everything from cars to SUVs into the larger SUVs for the family, or maybe rodeo tripping down the road, and of course half tons. They've got you covered as well. And you go visit them at Lloydminster Toyota or catch them online, and you can take a look at not only their brand new but their pre-owned lineup that you could maybe drive home within the next couple days. They've got an elite team that can get you set up. That is Lloydminster Toyota, located on the south side of Highway 17. All right, let's keep moving. Georgia Hale. Yep. Run, Dandy, run. My goodness. 14, 4, 6, and 2. She goes to number 2. Georgia Hale, my goodness. Her and Dandy on a whole nother level. Going to be tough pace to match now as we are going to Cabri-Zuntai. It is a royal weekend as the Royals, now as the kings and queens of the Red Deer Polytechnic in Cabri-Zuntai, take aim. Oh, no. Well, fans, you know the deal. Consolation goes to the Cowgirl as a 5-second penalty will be found on a 15-0-3-1. It is 20.031 for Cabri-Zuntai. Going to pull her out of the money. Well, we get her 3 times in our performance so far. It is back to Lily Wilson. We go of the Lakeland College. Number 8 so far in the season. Going to start over to the left or a little wide. They work their way back to the right, not once but 2 times. All right, 8, dial it up. Going to be a touch longer than she'd like at a 15-0-7-8. We are going back to the tractor. That is 15-0-7-8. 3 up, 3 down, and once again we rake. Now the whole premise and idea of every rake on 3 is to make sure we got the same equal fair ground opportunity to all of our competitors. It also keeps it safe for the animals they race on and the competitor as well. We want to make sure it's not only fair but of course safe. So we appreciate the patience as we get the ground cleared back up on the track. So we got 3 more to race, and right now we've got to be faster than a 14-2-3-9. So that means 14-2-3-8 or better, and you could move to number 1. And the worst you can place is 4th at this point in that circumstance. We got some dancers out there. That guy should win a T-shirt for his dancing already tonight. That guy in the tan pullover has not missed a beat. Sir, you should mix a water in, maybe. All right, we're doing a little dance. Maybe the other stuff, too. We'll see. Lacey Terpsma, #1 cowgirl so far on the year, would leave the 2025 end as a champion and looks to try again here in 2026. Well, I'll tell you what, so far that'll work. That'll put her to #2 at a 14.25-9. Wow. 14.259, going to move her to #2, right behind Kaylee Clark at a 14.239. We're talking 100th of a second difference times 2. Brooklyn Himonick is going to put her stamp on it. This gray, smooth as silk. $14.996 as she wraps and turns. Another solid run on the day, as Brooklyn going to sit somewhere around the bottom side of our top 10 as we've got 1 to go. This is Trinity Keebaugh, the powerhouse from Lloydminster. Whoa, cowgirl. She's back in the saddle. Let's give her some anyway, huh? 15.239 and a couple of bops and boops. Well, not going to put her in the money, but unofficially, it is going to be Lakeland College, Kaylee Clark, 14.239. So we're going to get horses loaded up. We're going to get saddles in the right place, possibly a bareback rig. And as we talked, we had a check mark as we were trying to find all the gear. Well, it's like going to play baseball with no baseball glove is what it's like when you don't have your bareback riding glove. Or a hockey reference, you show up to the rink with no skates. A little tough to play. So while we get horses loaded, we are going to see if you can sing a little bit more, okay? All right, one of my favorites. We'll start it off with Blink 182, and we'll see how you guys sing, okay? Where's our so far fan of the night? Where are you at, buddy? There you are. You ready? You got to sing it. Oh, man. You know what's funny, though, is we can still call it a classic. It's over 25 years old. Here, we'll try it again. The tractor kind of got us caught up. So we'll try singing something else, maybe a little easier. You know what worked last time? Was that one. Alrighty, this was a hit song at the tail end of last year, all summer. Come on, sing it. You know you want to. Even the guys, we know it's a guilty pleasure to sing it, so just let her rip, okay? Yeah. All right, here we go. That girl in the back row right away, I did the same thing. Oh, yeah, that's the move right there. Everybody knows that's the move. You got to put your hands up. Pretty good. You guys are all trying to not say it or sing it, but. Oh, this is probably my favorite. Between her and Michelle Branch on my late night drive home. All right, ladies. Yeah. Yeah, get them up. Let's go. All right, let's see if we can get one more done, okay? Yeah. You guys have this over here. We're going to try and get you guys into it too. Don't be shy. All righty, let's try one more, seeing as we got another second here, okay? Let's do it. I know I got some. Friends, where? All righty. Hey, we'll have one more for you a little later on in the performance, okay? But right now, we got to get back to it as we got Trey Tuplin going to go 50 Shades of Gray on Incredible Rodeo's Bucking Horse out of chute 5. Yep, let her rip. Now, I talked about it in the bareback riding, but the deal is you must keep the free arm away from yourself, the livestock, and the gear throughout the entire 8-second ride. And tonight, it is going to be a reach down that they call a double grab as a Swift Current Saskatchewan cowboy, Trey Tuplin, going to be no score tonight. Oh, all that work, a little too tough company. It is no score for Trey Tuplin. As our saddle bronc riding is now underway with 3 opportunities left, we did get word the bareback riding would come to a close as Ben Coombs going to take it at 75 points. Kagan Kamita 64, and those are your lone 2 rides out of night 1. We remind all of our go-round winners to go catch up with Hannah Martz in the back alleyway to talk through some interviews, post-ride or run. Now, a little different than the bareback riding. Your handhold, it is a bronc rein. And to most of the world, when you think rodeo, it goes back to this event because that is how it would begin. The wild, untamed broncs of the West. And cowboys about as wild as the bucking horses they got on. Now, the gears changed a little bit. The association saddle, no horn on it, obviously for safety, so a little different than yours and mine's riding saddle. But feet are going to go in the stirrups, jetted out towards the shoulders. It all starts with a mark out. Heels aboard the front point of the shoulders that entire first jump. And as we just watched, you got to keep the free arm away. The prettier the ride, the harder the buck, the more points and money you can get. And as we go to Leland Robertson, it is fire away. Go on, Leland. Hang on. I'd say that is the perfect name for the ride on the bucking horse, as Cliffhanger of Incredible Rodeo would come firing on out of buck chute 4 as Leland Robertson of Canwood, Saskatchewan, set him down, dust him off, and give him a pile. Well, scores are going to come to us. They say 66 points, 66 for Leland Robertson. Going to put him on the board, as that is our first qualified ride with 2 cowboys to come to us in the saddle bronc riding. As we'd like to thank the Vermilion Agricultural Society. We may have a new rowdy section. I don't know what happened over there, but that section looks like they're ready to go too. So as we get the final touches, we're going to change deliveries on you. This is what we call our left-hand delivery. It is the left hand exposed to the arena. Cowboy, he is a right hand held position. So it is going to feel a little tough for him on that first jump, but a good bronc rider sets it in the middle. And like touching fire to dynamite, the explosion going to come at the nod of his head. This is Braden Smith, Central Alberta team member on Don't Forget Me. From McKay, Alberta, his dad a bull rider through the 90s. This cowboy has qualified both to the Lakeland and Wild Rose finals and took the championships home in the novice saddle bronc. He has done the building to get to this point in time in his collegiate career, a rookie this season, and in the hunt to the finals. Yep. Keep reaching. Keep going. Got to drive ahead. Vermilion, do your thing. An outstanding job by the Cowboys. Braden Smith puts up one heck of a ride. We got a new high marking for the 2026 half of the campaign. How about 78 for the Cowboy?
And there was one, and he's a Lakeland kid.
Caleb Peters, Lakeland College. Whoop.
He's out.
Now, as we're going to slow things down a moment. Now, the dangers in the game of rodeo are very real. Our Cowboys know the risks and the undertaking when they play the game. Now, as they're going to slow him down a moment, we're going to make sure we take all the proper precautions to make sure that Caleb Peters is going to be okay. So our team is talking to him. As our paramedic crew going to move into place. So we just take a moment as I'll talk through it with them. And if you're a faith-based person, this is where you can lean on it. Now, in these moments, we appreciate your patience as we're going to work through making sure he's all right. Our team is communicating with him. And again, we thank you so much for the patience to make sure he gets all the help required and needed as our team goes through the necessary precautions to make sure he's okay. He's on his feet. Well, I think we can give them an extra hand, and how about it for our EMS crew? Yep. Rodeo is a game not played by everybody. So we're going to move down to the top division end. As a tough end to our saddle bronc riding, as Braden Smith going to take it with a 78-point score, 66 Leland Robertson to wrap it up. As we appreciate Incredible Rodeo for bringing not only horses here tonight to our performance, but throughout the year to all of our practices to make sure our Cowboys can stay sharp. So we move down to the Tom DeVan end. It is to the big boys of Rodeo. We're going steer wrestling right now. Well, I'm going to guarantee most of you this ain't your first rodeo, but as the steer wrestling goes, let's run through the details. Cowboy's going to settle himself in on what is the head side box. From your angle and my angle, that is going to be the right side. Once he gets settled in the corner, we're going to utilize that barrier rope on this side to make sure that proper head start is given. This is the only event in rodeo outside of team rope where you get a partner, but the partner, well, they have an effect on your run, but they're not part of the run in respect to how you get timed. And what I mean by that is you get a hazer. Their job is to be like your guide down the arena. They're going to help navigate to put that steer into a position that he can grab hold. So once the cowboy starts, his goal is get a hold of the steer by the horns, set his feet to the arena floor, and flip about 500 pounds of beef with all 4 feet in the same direction. And when it's done fast, it looks really cool. Tonight, we're starting with the Broncos. To the number 2 Cowboy. Now he's got a 210-point separation from the leader so far on the year, but he sits number 2 in the nation. Now as Keegan Hodgson settles on in the corner, he is a third-generation rodeo athlete. And last weekend would be the champion over 2 days. Going to look to carry the momentum. We set those feet. Ooh, we're in a battle. Got to get to his feet. Got to reset. Come on, Lakeland. Yep. Now as we look to the barrier, it is okay. And he is actually going to go to the top right away. He's a 15-second run. And that'll move him to number one. As coming in here was a 17-7 in number one with Drader Pearson. Chase Workington would be an 18-7 this afternoon. And a 19-2 by Bryn Scoville. So 15 seconds right away jumps on top. And that is going to set up Dane Ross. Now, as it went for Dane, in our tie-down rope, and he was our gunner. And as his year goes in the steer wrestling, the rookie currently sits 4th overall. Now, the Northern Lights College would add some power about 4 or 5 years ago as the addition of Clayton Moore, past Canadian champion steer wrestler, has elevated the entire team's ability to a new height like this. Yep. Now, as I confirm it, we're good at the barrier, and fans, are you ready? Because the rookie just went 6.2 to go to the top. Now we get a heavy dose of the Northern Lights College as we go to Wyatt Bondaroff. Now, I talked heavy about how he got here and over 3 years has qualified to the final each and every year. Currently sitting 3rd overall, once again in the hunt towards that championship buckle. He would finish his high school career as a champion on the national side. And here in 2026, he's going to try and up the ante some. Got to turn him. But he's in a battle. We talk about the draw being tough. All right, Wyatt. Big move. Yep. He is going to be 19-4. So that'll put him number 6 so far on the day and 3rd in the round. As we're going to set up his teammate, another rookie. It is to Landon Dowling. That's pretty cool lineage, a rodeo for Landon Dowling. As he follows in the footsteps of his uncles, Josh and Jeremy Harden, Canadian champions, and all-around hands. Again, had an illustrious high school career. And as it goes in the varsity race, Northern Lights continues to reign supreme. But tonight, it is going to be in the dirt and no time.
All right, the sophisticated Mr. Rogers. His dad sent me a whole Guinness thing the other night. Had a pretty good laugh. Yeah, Glendon Rogers.
Now as we take a look at the size of beef, this one's tipping the scales on the top side of what is the herd. But when we talk about stout company, well, this cowboy who hails out of the Yellowhead County, well, he's about as tough as they come. And when it comes to beer drinking, he likes to consume that beer like it's a meal. What I mean is I've never seen a 20-year-old college kid order anything outside of a Coors Light, maybe a Pilsner, but this kid orders stout Guinness. So Mr. Sophisticated, Glendon Rogers, a former Bronco, now rides for the Central Alberta team. And don't let the size fool you. He's got heart, determination, and a whole lot of fire. All right, Glenn. Grab hold and go, buddy. Whoa. Well, it is going to be no time for Glendon Rogers, but no shortage of effort. We look forward to the Sunday run. Tell you what, we're a little too quiet in here. Why don't you give him a hand for the effort? Let's get that energy back, all right?
Well, let's go to the number one guy. Dixieland's a light after this, too, for the transition. We'll let the steers run first, I guess. Get them out of here.
And then there was one. It looks like there might have been a party foul in the rowdy section. We'll get you back on track. Over here is Nate Siemens. Tail of the tape. Stands about 6'3". I'd say about $180. And this is the number one cowboy as it goes in the steer wrestling. Northern Lights is loaded with talent, was a provincial champion, would qualify to the National High School Finals in Rock Springs, Wyoming back in 2024. Now there's a lot of energy in this building, a lot of energy through the Cowboys. That horse knows the excitement is there as he reaches out. He's got to move with urgency. The real estate, not quite going to run out of it. Yep.
10-7.
Tonight for Nate Siemens at 10.6. The barrier, it was okay, so 10-6. But that means tonight it is the rookie and Dane Ross, 6.2. Gonna take it. Heads up, everybody. We're moving the steers on down as we're going to transition at the timed event end. This gives us time for one more sing-along. Are you kids ready?
Dixieland Delight, you ready? Yeah.
All right, let's keep it rolling, baby.
We'll give him last Saskatchewan Pirate, maybe. We're in Alberta. Oh, that's true.
This might be a left turn, but let's try it. I like how you guys are like a choir trying to stay in tune. I love it. I love it. Well, we're loading it up. You guys have been awesome tonight. Why don't you give yourselves a hand, huh? Yeah. So tonight we get started with the NLC as the Bondaroffs going to come try and put their mark on it. A pair of season leaders in years gone by as they've been inching their way in to that top 12. They said number 10 so far on the year, respectively, on the head and heel side. Two separate standings races working together as one. Barriers back in play. It all starts with a head catch. A half head, full head, or slick horns are the only three options. We dally up and turn left. If you happen to grab one leg, it's a 5-second penalty. We're turning. Wyatt, reach in. Tonight it is no time for the Bondaroffs. That pair of siblings are top hands as it goes on the rope inside. Teammates not only sharing horses but sharing ropes, it looks like. Now here's what's gone on so far is the team in the top. It is Caleb Kelly and Derek Ivanix, 12-8. Currently sitting number one. As the wave is not leaving the rowdy section, we need more momentum. Twelve and 9 sitting number two with Caitlin Appel and Ronnie Descavich is we're sticking to the Northern Lights. Jordan Farmer, Kagan Russell. Now as the pair comes firing to us. Deep to the brisket. Legal on the front side, backside. Yeah! Lock it in. Well, let's change the pace some. How about a new pair of leaders? 10.4. 10.4 for Farmer and Russell. Now, I've done a lot of bragging tonight. And as we go to this next pairing, hold on. Well, you keep that energy going. We're just a little malfunction at the junction. Our automatic barrier system needs a little bit of TLC. which again gives me a reminder, don't forget about the roundup. That is going to be Sunday, March 28th, right here in our Lakeland College Equine Center. It is going to be preview of the horses at 1 p.m. 3 p.m. is going to be the sale. Now, the equine students, under the guidance of their coaches, has put together some great horses for you to potentially go home with. So there could be a new mount for you to maybe take home to the ranch, or if you're looking to get rolling in rodeo, we've seen some of the horses work into different jobs, including a pickup horse. You know what I'm thinking, Lane? This is a song that I want to see sung everywhere. We got time, kids. You know it. Yes. I know you're all working it through your mind. If you know the song, just let it happen. Let it flow through you. All right, now I was talking about doing some bragging, and rightfully so, because the cowgirl on the front side has earned it. That Lakeland rustler is Daly Storley. And from year 1 to year 2 has been a top-notch roper in the team rope, and as she sits number 1 once again. Now on the backside, her partner in Cohen Kaufman. These two could change that 10-4 to be number 2. But it's all about getting set just right. Square, flat-footed. But you also want that steer looking ahead, as we want a good first step. Patience is key. Yep. Are we in the danger zone? We got 1. We got 2. Oh, baby. You guys ready? They just changed it. How about 8.7? I'll talk about momentum shift. A no time to start, then a new leader at 10-4. That time is now number 2. The third team up goes 8-7 and has moved to number 1. All right, we're in the hunt now. Dane Ross and Landon Dowling. 2 young hopefuls have landed. And talking to their momentum shift, Dane Ross comes off just taking a 6-2 out, making it look easy in the steer wrestling. As we go left. Oh, man! You guys, I got bad news. Remember I talked about the 3 kinds of head catch? It is a slick horns, a half head, or a full head, and right there, part of the rope would curl its way back over the right horn, and our official has designated no time. So that means Dane Ross, Landon Dowling, no time. But could you do me a favor? Why don't you give him that rustler love you've been dishing out all night? I love the term of this song called sabotage, because that's exactly what could happen if this pair connects. Brody Groves and Weston Packett, over the last 2 weeks of practice together, a handful. They can be fast. As a rookie in pro rodeo, we'd watch Brody Groves help him and his brother qualify to a Maple Leaf Circuit Finals. And in the fall of 2025 would rank himself as one of the top 15 in the nation. As he continues to build, it's with the assets on the backside in Weston Packett, the calm, cool, collected measure. But if you ain't first, you're last in some circumstances, and tonight they went for it, so no time for Groves and Packett. We go to Cambry Zentai and Trey Hoffman. Red Deer Polytechnic Kings and Queens on the front side with veteran roper Trey Hoffman. He's qualified to the Canadian College Rodeo many times over, and in the southern reaches of Alberta is qualified to the Chinook Rodeo Association Finals over 6 times. Now we talk energy. Horses feel every bit of what we got, not only around us, but what flows through us. Now you watch, just trying to get settled just enough, and like a hairpin trigger, these two will come firing on all cylinders. But as they work through it, and is just trying to get settled to where they need to be. Now, in the regular season, a business-type run can put you into contention, and that has been how they've taken care of business. But this pairing has taken 2 go-rounds so far on the campaign to the finals, and has them sitting 4th so far in the standings race to the heel side and the head side. She's all gas and no brakes now. All right, Trey, do your thing. Power of the pink, baby. Whoa, silver. We confirm that the barrier's okay. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? How about a 7.1? And like a fine wine, we're getting better with age.
Charlie Broderson, yeah.
Now a little change up on the chemistry for this partner pairing, as Charlie Broderson would step in as a replacement to the regular partner for Ryan Collette on the heel side. Doesn't take much to get a team to gel. All right, Charlie. As she's working to get that rope sorted out tonight, it is going to be no time with Charlie and Ryan. Has some tough luck for the pair. Setting up the final 3 teams.
This is what
Rihanna Fletcher and Rylan Poyer. Fourth generation roper on the head sides, turning, heel side. Money is green. Ho, 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 ho. The barrier were good. How about a 9.6? Not too bad. Not too bad.
That's number 3 right now.
That 9 and 6 going to move to number 3 as we're still chasing a 7 and 1. So 7 seconds or faster. Now this pair coming out of the Broncos weekend had one heck of a good one. As Branston Moore and A.J. Jackson going to look to try and pile a little more on.
Edge is 17.
We're caught up on the front side. Oh, no. Oh, that's like pulling the pot of coffee off before she's brewed all the way. That is no time. Well, don't let them ride out of here without your stuff. Just give them a little bit of it. We'll save it up for this pairing right here.
No. They have to load them. Oh, they're loaded. Oh, that's fine. Let it rip, man.
Kristen and Avery Sardoff. Canadian champion header on the front side as it goes in college rodeo. Heel side Canadian champion as well. That had the chance to rope a little bit through high school. Prior to that, right here with little cowpokes. You could pretty well say this arena's as close to home as they'll get. There you are, Kristen, Avery. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Well, tonight it is a no time for the Sardoffs, but let's celebrate with Cabri Zuntai, Trey Hoffman, 7.1. Do we have more T-shirts? We got 4 more T-shirts. Remember, once you get the T-shirt, you got to take a picture, send it to Band in the Sand on Instagram with some details. Oh, boy.
We want an order.
You guys got one left in the chamber? Yep. A little short. All righty. Let's get the Rustler chicken cannon fired up. Make some noise. Final time.
These kids are hanging off the
Came up a touch short. Well, tonight, are you guys ready to buck some bulls? You guys cheered louder for the guy who ran out here with no shirt on, so let's try it again. Are you ready to buck some bulls? As the cowboy starts to heat up the rosin, you got to get out of the arena, man. That was not an invitation, by the way. Well, it takes all kinds to make the world go round. That's what my parents always said. All right, let's re-rally the troops here. As we're going to get started with Broden Beta, University of Saskatchewan cowboy. Hails from Castor, Alberta. Now 3 times he's qualified through the Lakeland, a couple through the Wild Rose. Has found great success as a high school rodeo athlete. And Broden Beta wants to get the party started right tonight. So we got to help him. That bull from the Foley Bucking Bulls goes by the name of Whiz Kid. Now our cowboys on horseback, they're going to have a little ranch work to deal with.
What's under pressure? I was ready to go. Stop, collaborate, and listen. It's actually the same, yeah. Tried to claim it wasn't, but you want to meet the bullfighters maybe?
Tonight, our bullfighters, both joining us out of Central Alberta, closest to you along the fence. That is Mr. Ben Mad Hops Havoc. And alongside him, about 6'1", and has a need for speed. That is Will Beam Me Up Scott. Your bullfighters for Little Royal Rodeo are ready to rock and roll, and under pressure they've been. They're going to step in the way of danger each and every time they need to make sure that cowboy finds a safe way out. Now, it is not a conventional bull riding. I don't know how to say this without coming off the wrong way, but when you stand about 6'5", 6'6", and you could probably play defensive end for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, that is not a common thing to see. But this kid's got a lot of heart, a lot of try, and he is proud to be from right here in Vermilion, Alberta. I'm talking Big Lane King. Now the Lakeland College athlete has got a matchup on a Foley Bucking Bull they call Goody Two Shoes. Now, last fall, at his first rodeo, was only his 3rd bull ever. I'd say he's got about 15 or 16 under his belt, but a little bit of injury would sideline him for some time. So tonight, we're going to help him with everything we can. All right, Lane, stay in the middle, squeeze, pull, lift, let's go. Well, going to set up the number 1 Cowboy, Wyatt Wayanko. Buckshoot 3. He is a left-hand delivery, right hand down. Now, when we talk about deliveries with bulls versus horses, the natural way a bull generally turns on their delivery is going to kind of follow suit with how that gate opens. Sometimes they'll turn back. You never really know the tracks entirely. But if you are a right hand down on a left hand delivery, the favor goes to the bull side. But for Wyatt Wayanko in the career he has had thus far, he's got an opportunity to continue piling on, as only 100 points separates him with 3 other Cowboys as he chases that buckle for season leader. Whoop. Heads up. I'll talk about clearing the house. Heads up along the fence, kids. That one they call Red Foo. That's one you want to be a little more heads up on when you're feeding in the morning. But our team doctoring pair, well, we're going to work to double things up, move the Red Foo on out of here.
Leads 1, Casper Gursky. Yes, it is.
Only kid left to go who could take 100 points. All to himself with a bit of ground money. It is Casper Gursky. South Saskatchewan born and raised. Rodeo driving through his blood. His dad, a professional rodeo judge, has worked some of the biggest shows in all of rodeo. And as for Casper Gursky goes, he has climbed that ladder, CCA finalist. And what is now the 3rd season we found him in Canadian College Rodeo. As Casper's matchup tonight, it is on Bodie. Buckshoot 1 is the final matchup. We got to go to him right away. Oop, tilted. Bullfighters putting in one heck of an effort. So we send the bull out of here. How about it for the bullfighters? How about it for the bulls? Incredible. Rodeo brought us the horses, but it's the Foley Bucking Bulls on the bovine side. And we thank Mr. James and John Foley so much for not only the support they give through the rodeo season, but all year long with some of the best stock this side of the Medicine line. Well, fans, that's going to do it for us. On behalf of the entire crew here, thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, it's hard to believe what has all gone down in the last 2 hours and 50 minutes. As on behalf of the crew, our music director, Lane LaPlante, our judges, Cody Kingsmith and Colin Hollywood, our pickup men, superb indeed, Dustin Ginto and Darcy McKinney, our bullfighters, Ben Havel and Will Scott, our timers, Michaela Bach and Jessica Pickford, along with our contracting firms, Incredible Rodeo, Foley, Buck and Bulls, and Trevor Whitmack. On behalf of the Rustlers and Braden Bach, I am Dom St. Amon saying see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. when we start our Sunday slack. For those of you that are going partying tonight, remember, do not do any drinking and driving. If you're doing drinking, just walk. There's cabs. There's friends. Take a DD. Make a safe trip. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.